Mentioned the Minnesota Vikings being on the clock. This their pick, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins out of Georgia.
Love him. The only 10 career starts, he played at Georgia, so there's a lot of talent going in and out of Georgia. But when you watch him play, he's got size, he's got suddenness. I think he's got tremendous upside. For me, the 10 games, shows up with his inexperience. He's more flash than finish as a pass rusher. As a run defender, he's actually pretty technically sound, like most Georgia players are going to be. The instincts aren't quite there yet, but he can play disruptive interior defensive tackle, or he can be a base end as well. But when you see him move, Bucky, this guy doesn't move like a defensive tackle, and really athletic player.
With the 140th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Cam Jackson, nose tackle, Florida.
All right, so Cam Jackson, the selection, defensive tackle out of Florida. You can see some of the production numbers there in his last 2 seasons, those 4.5 TFLs. Something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, something to keep an eye out for, but he's a big, physical guy at the point of attack, little space eater. But let's go back, and we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, who is a fact, you talk about not playing a lot, not a lot of starts, but just the environment, having to compete every day in Georgia is going to help him when he gets in the camp and has to fight for a job.
On behalf of the Baltimore Ravens, the 2000 and 2012 world champions, your back-to-back AFC North champions, I'd like to announce the 141st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens will select Carson Wilson, tackle, Alabama A&M. Let's go Flock! Woo!
All right, we got our first HBCU player now officially off the board. Buck, we got an opportunity to be at the HBCU Legacy Bowl together down in New Orleans. Good to see Carson Vincent's name called.
Yeah, Carson Vincent, a guy who showed up at the Senior Bowl, and everyone knew that he had an opportunity to go. He's a bit of a projection because he's rough and unrefined in terms of some of the things of his game, but really good in pass protection. You saw the size, you saw the technique, just the tools. And so with the length and the stuff that he has been able to put on tape, the Baltimore Ravens see him and say, hey, let's give this guy a shot in the 5th round. He is going to have some time to develop into being a player.
And with the 142nd pick in the 2025 draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Riley Mills, defensive end from Notre Dame.
Nice to see Riley Mills get his name called. 7.5 sacks, led the team, and keep in mind this is a guy that was banged up late in the season. Didn't even see him in some of those CFP matchups.
Well, tore up his knee, got hurt in the college football playoffs. That's probably the reason he's going here in the 5th. I think we would have heard his name called before then. He is one of those players. Look, he's number 99. He plays along the interior. I remember a little Wisconsin J.J. Watt. He's not the same player, but he's got some of the same. All-day aggressiveness, and really doesn't give you a break. He's one of those players that I like D tackles and don't lay on blocks. He's always attacking. I think he can be a 3-4 edge, or he can play 4-3 defensive tackle. 3-4 edge. Defensive end on 3-4. So.
And with the 143 pick, the Miami Dolphins selects Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, Maryland Dolphins.
Once again, Buck, you and I got to call the East-West Shrine Bowl. You go around that practice, you ask who's making an impact, who do we like, who's the coaching staff think could be a next-level player, and Jordan Phillips, his name was the one that kept popping up.
Yeah, it kept popping up because he was a freak show at the point of attack. Jordan Phillips, just the way that he was, just could get after it, first step quickness and burst, lower punch. And I know people say the tape didn't always match up to some of the traits that he exhibited, but you could just see it. He was just so strong and so dominant throughout practices at the East-West. I understood that he would have an opportunity somewhere in those middle rounds. Yammer, Yammer, this weekend should make you want to get up under the squat rack when we get back to work this week, because you just see all these guys that are hearing their name call because they get up under the rack and they move mountains.
Buck, I'm disappointed.
He's a mountain mover at the point of attack.
I'm disappointed in you.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
So we've been waiting on this one. There was some speculation Cleveland was going to be the team. So it's exactly what we thought, but not when we thought.
Yeah, look, congratulations to Shedeur for getting picked, but it's such a weird thing because in this quarterback room right now, we presently have 5 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. The hard thing is, okay, Watson is out, but how are you going to get all of these guys reps when it comes to it? And there's a bit of a pecking order. So the thing about it in Shedeur Sanders, he's going to have an opportunity. Like everyone kind of eyes woke up when Dillon Gabriel was selected. So now every day, you talk about 2 dogs, 1 bone. It'll be interesting, but if you are what you say you are, you have an opportunity to prove that. So Shedeur Sanders has an opportunity to go and earn a job.
Just competition. There's no real flow to that quarterback room. It's just, like you said, Buck, roll the ball out there and let's see who wants it. Kenny Pickett's saying, hey, I'm still an potential NFL starter. Deshaun Watson wants to make a comeback. We know who Joe Flacco is. I mean, he's just the steady veteran right now. Dillon Gabriel, I think, is going to be an NFL backup. And Shedeur Sanders is fighting for a backup role right now that he hopes he can turn it into a starter. And I give him a very real chance here. Like this, you look at this room, it's still a winnable job.
Absolutely.
To be honest with you, how he comes in and how he handles it from a professional standpoint, he's got to get guys to buy in quickly. He's got to get veterans to buy in quickly.
The approach is going to be everything.
The Eagles, by the way, just moments ago making the selection at a UCF, Mac McWilliams, the corner. Very, very quick observation here.
With the 146th pick in the NFL, in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Braden Swinson, linebacker, LSU. PFG!
You said it. You like him.
Yeah, I love Braden Swinson. I think he's a 3rd-round caliber player. The testing wasn't great with him at the combine. It was just okay. And when you saw him on the field, a little bit high cut on the combine floor. But when you watch him on tape, he is always by the quarterback, has an unbelievable feel for rushing with momentum, getting off of blocks with his long arms. He uses his length. He plays really long. You can see the long arms right there. He doesn't measure as long as he plays, but he just has a way of getting to the quarterback that is infectious, and it's the consistent momentum and forward charge where he just doesn't, it's as soon as you stop, if you don't finish him, he is going to reignite his rush and go catch more sacks. I think he's okay as a run defender, but I think he has a lot of potential. 60 pressures, led the SEC. This is the SEC, led the SEC with 60 pressures. So that means he's in the pocket and at the quarterback a lot.
With the 147th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jordan James, running back, Oregon.
Buck, as I think about it, you were just telling me, hey, it's a quarterback factory in Philadelphia. I'd say in San Francisco, they figure out a way to make the running back room work very well.
Yeah, here's the thing about the San Francisco 49ers. They may feel like they can manufacture and create running backs. Going all the way back, the Shanahans kind of created this running back thing that many people subscribe to in terms of, hey, let's take one leg, let's let them earn it. What I do know about the Niners, Bobby Turner has always been a guy that can identify running backs that really fit the system. This guy's a nice fit for the system. So even though they've gone away from some of that outside zone stuff and mixed in some gap stuff, they still look for the same things, the same traits work for them.
Yeah, Jordan James has a lot of the Jordan Mason qualities to him that worked really well before he got hurt. He is a one-cut back, can make very, very sharp cuts, very quick stop, start, change of direction stuff. But he's got good power, above average power for his size.
With the 148th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Hamilton, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
A lot of Buckeyes.
Yeah, it's a
The whole
run.
defensive line's gone.
There was, look, I mean, even before this pick, I actually just got to go and find the stat, but the reality is it was a slew of Ohio State. I think they might have actually led.
Simon's gone at linebacker. All 4 defensive linemen are now gone. This is a guy who is first off the snap, first into contact. He plays with really good leverage. He is a player who's very, very twitchy. He can get into the gaps as a one-gapper. Lacks ideal mass. Great. He's got the lean mass, right? Doesn't carry a lot of extra weight on his body. May need to add a little bit of weight, though, for the NFL game. He's only about 299, but plays stronger than his weight, though.
With a 149 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Jaden Blue, Texas!
All right, Jaden Blue, running back out of Texas.
Shout out to my wife, Longhorn.
She must be.
She's running a London Marathon tomorrow. I gotta hit her on WhatsApp and tell her a Longhorn running back just went.
Love that.
Yeah.
And another running back. We're seeing once again on day number 3 a ton of them off the board.
Look at this. At the end of the year, Bucky, this is what we saw a lot. We saw a lot of wheel routes, angle routes. Jaden Blue became a monster out of the backfield and just really difficult to cover. And I think that really caught everyone's attention. He's really a good route runner. He's not the toughest guy to bring down as a runner, but he's very, very, very fast.
With the 150th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jason Marshall Jr., defensive back, Florida.
All right, another corner taken off the board. Once again, very, very handsy. You can see the statistic on the screen there. You got the 98 tackles, 3 picks, not to mention a dude that's not shy about breaking up passes.
Not shy about it. As Lance referred to him, a route hog. That's a new firm. He is all on eating up those routes, making plays on it. And PBUs are an important stat. We talked about ball protection and how some teams really value that. Man, if you want to know if someone can really cover, you can see PBUs, interceptions, they always around it and they win at the break point. He does that.
He's a little inconsistent, but he makes plays on the football. That's what you want to see. The inconsistencies, you try to figure out why is he a little inconsistent on tape. Let's coach that up. Let's get the technique right because the instincts are there and the playmaking talent is there. So you love PBUs, the pass breakups, because it tells you this guy has the ability to make plays on the football.
The 151st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select DJ Giddens, running back, Kansas State. See you in Berlin. Auf Wiedersehen.
All right, productive, over 1,300 yards on the ground, 7 rushing touchdowns. Dude was ranked 8th in FBS play, a school record 6.55 yards per carry. Darren Sproles, by the way, he was the previous guy that held on to that marker. That's pretty good company to keep.
It's good company to keep. A little bit of a long strider for a big power back, which takes away some of his power. He shortens strides up. I think, the power comes back a little bit because he is a big back. He has good size, 6 foot, 212 pounds, ran a 4.43, 39-inch vertical, 10-10 broad jump. Those are serious numbers for an explosive back when you tab the 4.43 as well. So you got traits, you've got production, and you got a chance, I think, to become a more powerful back. It's a nice little complimentary back for Jonathan Taylor here in the 5th round.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the 152nd pick to the Dallas Cowboys. With the 152nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Shamar James, linebacker, Florida.
Shamar James, a 3-year player. It's rare. We're talking about a lot of 6-year players nowadays because of COVID. He played 3 years over there, and really, I think Shamar James, what hurts him is you're probably looking at maybe a 3rd round pick if he didn't run a 4.69 40. The testing was just very, very average, but he's got good instincts. I think he plays faster than that than that time speed. I mentioned he flashes speed, but he never really developed the recognition and response talent to chalk up the playmaking stuff. So I think he's got some of the ingredients. It's just it doesn't always fit in terms of play recognition and quick response, that you want in terms of getting to the ball and making more plays.
I can tell you, man, it's a rough deal just all of it. It's just nerve-wracking. And so finally to hear his name called, I'm sure there's a sense of relief, but then it's time to go to work.
Yeah. Jalen Rivers, by the way, the most recent selection. Going to Cincinnati. And once again, this is not the first time in this draft. This is the second offensive lineman that they decided to grab in this draft to help out Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Bengals, pretty good pick because he can play center, guard, or tackle. So he's got, I would say 3-position flexibility: right tackle, right guard, center. But he's a big, wide player with strong hands and can play multiple positions. So center guard is something that the Bengals are still looking to add to, and I think they've done a good job.
I want to thank the Giants organization for making this dream come true und schöne Grüße nach Deutschland. With the 154th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Marcus Bowe, tackle, Purdue. Go Giants!
Super athletic. It will be interesting to see if they play him at tackle or guard, but this is a tremendous athlete. And when you watch him on tape, I think he needs more seasoning, and I question how strong he is right now. He's going to have to get stronger for the NFL game, but it's going to be rare to find anyone in this draft that can move laterally as quickly or get out in space as well as Marcus Bowe does. He is a player who fits great in zone scheme. I don't know that the Giants run a lot of zone scheme though, so I think he's still.
Got some spice to him.
We're not letting people punk us at the Senior Bowl, are we? So you hear him right here against big Josh Farmer, who'll give you the bull rush, and you see there he's got to get stronger. The lower body needs a little bit more mass, but figuring out what position to play. I'm curious if he can snap and play center. That's always kind of one of those secret things where a lot of times a team will project a guy as a center because they went to a pro day and had him snap, and you wouldn't know that unless you're at the pro day. So that could be one of those things as well. But really good athlete, one of the premier athletes I think in this draft on the offensive line.
Boil her up.
Oh, here we go.
Let's get in there. Okay, big.
Okay, we got the spin.
Up it. So he's got the fake too.
Okay, big fella. Look at big fella throwing them lead passes.
With the 155th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the only undefeated team of history on the NFL, the Miami Dolphins select Dante Trader Jr., defensive back, Maryland.
All right, another Maryland player just got his name called. 5 picks, 15 pass breakups in his career. What do we think about the fit?
Yeah, it was dual sport, pretty good fit, dual sport athlete. He's got instincts, but just kind of average consistency. He's going to have to play a more consistent game. He can play cover safety. He can line up over the nickel. He can play single high. So he's got some versatility on the back end. Average. I think the ball skills are a little bit average, but he loves to meet running backs as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. He's very urgent, so he's coming downhill to come make a play. You really like that. I think the early acceleration on when he turns and chases, he gets lost. He can get beat for some deep plays. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. High football character, and was that lacrosse star over in high school. Just an absolute star. Oh, and college too, yeah.
I mean, and Maryland is a really good program. You just don't just kind of play around there. I think that's the part that's intriguing. Dual sport athlete makes me think that he's going to be able to do a bunch of different things on special teams.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have traded the 156th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 156th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jeffrey Bassa, linebacker, Oregon.
This is a franchise that's done a really nice job the last couple of years of drafting defensive players to really carry this team. I know we always talk about Patrick Mahomes being the leader, and no question that is the case, but how does Jeffrey Bassa out of Oregon fit into what Steve Spagnuolo wants to do?
Man, they just do a really good job at the second level, find players that can make plays. And when I look at Jeffrey Bassa, I just am really intrigued by the way he moves around. I like just the energy, the activity, just being in the right spot at the right time. And we've used the name Drue Tranquill and how Drue Tranquill's been able to be a contributor. He'll kind of fall into that category.
Yeah, a real good teammate too. They wanted to get the best players on the field, so they asked him to move inside the inside linebacker, which is kind of out of position for him. He'll go back to will linebacker in the pros.
Here are the Bucs at pick 157.
Buccaneers
selection, please welcome International Fan of the Year nominee from Germany, Hagen Wilhelm.
What's up, Green Bay? Are you having a good time? That sounds good. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to all my fellow Buckaholics watching from all over the world. You guys are amazing. Okay, with that being said, with the 157th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the best team in the world, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, select Elijah Roberts, defensive end, SMU. Go Bucks, baby!
It's a pretty good football player. Remember, he was at Miami. Rhett Lashley goes to SMU. He follows his coach there. Super productive. 7.5 sacks. You saw that this past season. The guy could get after the quarterback.
Yeah, he can get after the quarterback. And you had the opportunity to see him at the East-West. We talked about like him being one of the standouts throughout the practice week. Just the energy, the relentless effort, being able to be versatile and dynamic at the point of attack. Tampa Bay knows what they want to do. They want to be aggressive. They want people to be able to create these splash plays. 18 sacks. He had a lot of splash play production.
And now, with the 158th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Keandre Lambert-Smith, wide receiver, Auburn. Bolt up.
All right, this is a dude who accepted that invitation to the East-West Shrine Bowl, made a lot of what he could do at practice, didn't see him in the game.
Let me go check my scouting report here. Weaknesses, my first sentence says below average long speed. Now let me go check and see how he did at the combine. Oh, 4.37. Okay. So,
look, it
sometimes you feel like you see something on tape. I guess I just ignored the fact that he averaged almost 20 yards per catch. On that level, you know, I question whether or not it was translatable. But I mean, the combine speed shows it's real, and you see him right here in the open field, like he's got some real wheels. He's got speed. So I just kind of missed that. But he really started to open some eyes in the postseason process. He was very, very productive this year. With the Auburn Tigers and that offense. So he's got speed, he's got verticality, and he's got the production. Here he is in the 5th round. One of those guys that you swing on and you want him to become eventually a wide receiver for you, a backup with some ability to stretch the field.
With the 159th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Colin Oliver, defensive end, Oklahoma State.
All right, this is a dude who started 2 games last year and missed the rest of the season because of a foot injury.
Yeah, he probably gets drafted earlier than this, if not the case. I mean, he's got some interesting production. He was the Big 12 Conference Freshman All-American. He had 11.5 sacks in 21 and 22 5 sacks. He had 15 tackles for loss in 2023. I mean, you look at the production and you think, why isn't he drafted earlier? I'm not sure. He was injured. I don't know what the medicals look like, but you know, maybe that you just don't have the athletic profile that you're looking for because he has been injured. I got to see if he ran in pro day, but he can get after the quarterback.
I think we talked about him at the Big 12 Pro Day. I can't remember if he worked out or not. I just remember him being the buzz of the conversation because I know when we looked through and saw the numbers and all that other stuff, like there were some intriguing traits that he brought to the table, which is why the Green Bay Packers are going to do it because the traits, the production, all that in that short span makes you at least want to throw a flyer at him.
With the 160th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Marquise Siegel, defensive back, Kansas State.
All right, so we got a safety off the board, and once again, it is another defensive player on his way to the Bay Area. 3 picks last season for him, Buck.
Yeah, 3 picks last season, and when we're looking at DBs, man, we're looking at these high-quality guys that can make it play. He kind of looks like he has the ability to not only play outside, but can come inside and make some things happen when we talk about the safety position, playing downhill, making plays on the ball, see and break player in terms of vision and break, being able to play in zone. Kind of like what he's shown on tape. He flashes, and that's going to give him an opportunity to kind of make some plays.
He ran a 4.37 40 at Combine, and I saw a play on tape where he ranges over the top. And, well, here's one of them right here.
You go.
I mean, you got a chance right now to get yourself a single high safety who can play and range from sideline to sideline with 4.37 speed. And it's not always easy to find those kind of safeties. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's got some serious athleticism and range over the top is what he's got at 4.37.
With the 161st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Smile Munden Jr., linebacker, Georgia.
Georgia, it's just the pipeline to the Philadelphia Eagles. With this selection, Georgia and Alabama, the most on the Eagles roster. Georgia actually 8 total players, Bama 7.
Well, it seems to me that the Philadelphia Eagles have a couple scouts that are just stuck in the SEC because they feel like that's the best conference in the land, and I think we can kind of verify that. It's always been regarded as that. And what the Philadelphia Eagles have done is, man, look, why not keep going fishing in the same pond? They've had a lot of success with Georgia players. They understand the culture and what that produces, so they go and get another player to link up with some former teammates as they make another run at a Super Bowl title.
Hello, we're Luke and Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest brothers, at Alduri Castle on Loch Ness for the first ever live NFL draft pick from Scotland. With the 162nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Francisco Maui Noah, linebacker from Miami. Let's go Jets!
That is another. By the way, let's just pause for a second there. Those are 2 big dudes. That could have been linebackers in their own right. Kiko, as he's affectionately called by his team, Mario Cristobal was down in Fort Worth when we were down there for the East-West Shrine Bowl, was raving about this dude.
So there's this double number. I like wearing number 1. He just looks like he's I mean, that's Cam Ward number, but always active on the second level, find a way to get to the ball. Just has a great feel, instinct that shows up there another play. It's kind of like how he shows up on tape over and over and over again.
Yeah, we actually didn't even see him in that game, but he was generating some buzz in those practices, so not surprising. Typically that's what happens in some of these showcases. You ball out during practice, go, oh, you know what? Hang now, I'm not going to go out there. No reason to play. Back here on Draft Center, just moments ago, the Carolina Panthers selecting the tight end out of Notre Dame, Mitchell Evans. So another piece here for Bryce Young.
Yeah, another piece, another big guy, 6'5", 258, does a great job of just boxing out, kind of crafty with the route running ability. And what we're seeing is a theme from the Carolina Panthers. They're getting huge on the outside. We literally talk about building a basketball team with Xavier Legette, T-Mac, Mitchell Evans. They are big guys that can take it off the rim.
Yeah, and it's something they needed. One more tight end to kind of run more 2 tight end sets. Big, strong Notre Dame guy.
Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. We will get there.
Hello, everyone. I'm here in beautiful Dublin, Ireland at the historic Croke Park Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Steelers will take the field this fall in the NFL's first ever regular season game in Dublin. With the 164th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers select Y.A. Black, defensive end, Iowa. Oh, here we go.
Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to get a little bit better against the run?
Yeah.
We talked about those Baltimore Ravens games. They go right back to the line of scrimmage again, and that's what Y.A. Black is, 336 pounds, over 6'5". A little bit of a clunky mover, CD. He's on the ground a little bit, but man, he is tough to move. He is a space-eating defensive lineman who they announced as an end. He'll be that strong base end for them.
And that's the second Iowa Hawkeye that goes to Pittsburgh, right? Didn't Caleb Johnson, the runner, go there earlier in the draft? And it always comes back to every time I see the uniforms, I'm reminded Hayden Fry, the legendary coach at Iowa, when he took over that job, he redesigned the Hawkeyes uniforms to look like the Steelers because they were right in the midst of being those Steeler teams. So he goes one uniform to the other. It's the same color scheme, same uniform, same everything.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 165th pick to the Los Angeles Chargers. With the 165th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Oronde Gadsden II, tight end, Syracuse.
A lot of buzz around this dude heading down to the East-West Shrine Bowl, Buck.
Yeah, Oronde Gadsden II, that was big time. Wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. This is a guy that is physical. He does his work because he just beats you up at the point of attack. And we've seen guys win by being able to be a post-up player. He's interesting because he's built like a jumbo slot receiver, but aligned as a flex tight end. We'll see if he can create some mismatches on the perimeter.
Mentioned some of the old school throwback stuff here. All right, Dad's got some hops too. One of only 4 FBS tight ends in the last 90 seasons, at least 60 receptions and 900 yards receiving. The guy can play.
Guten Tag, Green Bay! Make some noise! Really excited being here. I will use this moment for raise awareness for men's mental health. To all the guys out there who are struggling in this life, make sure you're not alone. Everybody can struggle. Reach out, get some help, especially the Bears fans! Without further ado, with the 166th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, my Seattle Seahawks select Torrey Horton, wide receiver, Colorado State. Focus football, go Hawks!
You know, Lance, I was covering the Snoop Dogg Bowl, and Jay Norvell, obviously the head coach there, got to spend some time with him. He was bummed that Torrey Horton was banged up in the second half of the season. Could have been a difference maker down the stretch, but what did you see from him on tape?
Oh, man, this is a great pick in the 5th round. 2-time team captain, extremely productive as a sophomore and a junior before he was injured. He has that deep separation speed, 4.41 140. He is an explosive player. He can play inside or outside. He's a little bit slender, but he can still play outside for you if you like. He weighs 196, so he just doesn't look like it when you see the lower body, but he's got the return ability, so you love it in the 5th round because he's got game-breaking speed and he can play returner as well.
Back to Green Bay we go.
With the 167th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jackson Slater, guard, Sacramento State. Two-tone blue!
So Jackson Slater, we've seen a couple FCS players hear their name called. This would be number 5 in this year's draft.
Now, the thing about small school players is how are they able to acclimate to the elite competition? This is a guy that was dominant at his level, though. And when I talk about dominant, like you saw the 42 starts at left tackle, played also at guard, but this is someone who has the tools. He has the technique that you look for. The position is how quickly will he be able to adjust to the different level of competition, but he was impressive throughout his time at Sacramento State.
He's been a guard at Sac State. I think he'll be a center on the pro level.
44 games played for him, 42 at left guard, and to your point, Lance, 2 at left tackle.
With the 168th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Drew Kendall, center, Boston College.
Here we go. They invest in the line of scrimmage constantly. They've done it on the defensive side. They're always going to be looking to give Jeff Stoutland, the great offensive line coach, another pupil here to work with. And Drew Kendall, he's a player who plays with a real wide base. He's able to kind of widen and sink in versus power. There's times, CD, you'll see the foot quickness gets tugged and pulled a little bit. So that's going to be the area you're trying to work on, and Coach Stout will work on trying to get him play a little more firm upper body wise.
Last time they did this, they drafted Cam Jurgens out of Nebraska and moved him to guard for a few years while they're waiting for Jason Kelsey to conclude a Hall of Fame career. Is that something Kendall can do as well, DJ? Can you move him over to guard while he's in waiting with Jurgens holding down center?
Yeah, he's got some size. I mean, he's over 6'4", so he's 308 pounds, and he plays with the demeanor that they like. He's got some nastiness to him.
You know what Jeff Stoutland's from, right? Staten Island, New York.
There you go.
The Rock,
homie.
My hometown.
Is it Lou Anarumo from there, too?
He is indeed. My brother went to high school with him, and I went to high school with his sister. Oh, man, we all know each other on Staten Island, you know?
With the 169th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the 2025 undefeated Chicago Bears select Zar Frazier, DB, Texas San Antonio. Let's go Bears!
This guy's really interesting, kind of like Reek Woolen when he came out. He's from UTSA. As you see, 6'2", 186 pounds. He's got long arms, and he's really fast, 4'3", 6'4". He's 24 years old. He's played Southern Illinois, like Coffeyville Community College. Then he went to UTSA. And so what's the lasting impression the final year? He had 6 interceptions and 15 passes defense. Like his ball production was absolutely outstanding. When I watch him on tape, what really stood out is, I know he's 24 years old. I know he's played 6 years of college football, big, long, and fast. That's what wins in the NFL, and the ball production is fantastic. Love the tape for him. I think he's a real upside player here in the 5th round.
With the 170th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Jordan Hancock, defensive back, Ohio State.
It's another Buckeye that is off the board, the 12th so far in this draft. That's more than any other school thus far.
Probably means they were really good.
Yeah.
That's a national title.
So
yeah,
figures.
I mean, Hancock being able to play in a slot nickel safety type, really good job with his eyes, seeing and making plays on the ball. He is someone that's interesting, because as we get into these later rounds and we start thinking about where these defensive backs have to play, a lot of times they have to be unique players, meaning they can play nickel, they can play down, they can bounce around. The more you can do, and he's one of those guys that has a lot of tools in the tool belt, and his versatility will help him as he tries to make a team and kind of crack the rotation.
Yeah, I think the versatility is key. He's played some. I think he can play safety. He can play slot, slot corner. He's good in run support. So a lot of teams like that out of their nickel. They want a guy that's bigger and can play. He's only got it like 21. He's only been a 2-year starter. He's only got, I think it's 21 total starts. So he's still learning.
Hello everyone, my name is Sophia Flösch, German racing driver, and today I'm welcoming you for the very first time to the new Detroit Lions exhibition at the German Sport and Olympic Museum in Cologne, open until June. So without further ado, let's get to the pick. With the 171st pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Miles Frazier, guard LSU, won Pride worldwide.
Well, they get another guard here. Miles Frazier, I was just
expect him to go a lot earlier.
Yeah, I was actually texting around going, what am I missing here? I mean, he's way up there for me on my list. He was one of the last guys hanging out in my top 100 at number 61. 50 career starts. I think he's got the ability to step right in and start at a guard. He's played left tackle, left guard, right tackle. I liked him better inside, where he's got some real torque and power. I thought he did a good job staying attached. He's a finisher. Just in pass protection at times, especially when he got out in space, he would overextend. But I think with him inside at guard, this is an NFL starting guard that they just were able to bring home here in the 5th round. I like that value.
Yeah, he played a little slot receiver 2 springs ago. Just kidding. All right, by the way, what you're looking at right now, Detroit Lions draft room, and you see the jerseys they're wearing? That's in honor of their general manager, Brad Holmes, who played at North Carolina A&T, the Aggies. See him right there, the 95 to the left of the screen. They're all wearing that in honor of him. Remember last year they all wore Dan Campbell's jersey in there? This year is for their general manager, Brad Holmes. That's the owner, Miss Sheila Hamp. And there's Brad being honored by his staff, his colleagues. There's Rod Wood, the president of the team, all in there wearing number 95 for his time there in North Carolina A&T when he was playing for the Ags.
Before I announce this pick, I have to say the people of Green Bay are the best and nicest people I've ever met. The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 172nd pick to the Los Angeles Rams. With the 172nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Chris Paul Jr., linebacker, Mississippi. Go Rams!
Just in case you're wondering, Chris Paul Jr., no relation.
Not San Antonio Spurs. I thought he was trying to finish it off the right way. Come back to L.A., cap off a decorated.
He's played a long time. I feel like his son could be coming out in the draft right now. Chris Paul 3, CP3.
You're right about that.
Chris Paul, a good player from Ole Miss, very productive player over at Ole Miss. Started off at Arkansas, made his way to Ole Miss, and put together a really strong season. Only played 4 years, which is, I kind of have to mention that in these last couple drafts, because so many of these players are playing 5 and sometimes 6 years with the extra COVID year. But weak side linebacker prospect who is a will linebacker in a 4-3, good eyes, good vision, and just gets to the ball a lot, has a nose for the football.
Thank you so much for making the NFL Draft so special this year with such an amazing turnout. Today's a special day, not just for the Bills, but for everyone who knows what Buffalo stands for: heart, grit, and family. I'm proud to be a part of the Bills ownership and the Bills family. Thanks to Terry Pegula and the Pegula family and a city that never stops believing. In Buffalo, we don't just draft players, we draft dreams, we draft hope, and we draft fighters. And today, we add another chapter to that story. And with the 173rd pick in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Jackson Hawes, tight end from Georgia Tech.
So you hear the selection and the words from Lance Zierlein? I love.
Oh, man, Jackson Hawes is a straight dog. He went to the combine, asked him, you probably don't like any of this stuff. He goes, I hate all this stupid stuff. I just want to block. So, Jesus, there's no real blocking drills there at the combine. You know, we're going to see him run routes, and this isn't really what he does. I mean, let's see him knocking Florida State around. They went over to Dublin, and he absolutely ruined Florida State throughout the game. You're seeing him release, and we're going to do the pass catching stuff, but make no mistake, this is a wide tight end who is primarily going to be in the game to block. They take him off the ball and let him become a lead blocker. That's something we never got to see his blocking highlights, but trust me when I tell you, he got drafted to be somebody to help move defensive ends off the ball and be part of the run blocking in Buffalo.
Makes sense because of some of the personnel that we see, a fair amount of 12 personnel watching Buffalo.
It does when you see him put his paws on folks.
Yeah.
He moves people at the point of attack, and it's so hard to find tight ends that can really get dirty or are willing to get dirty. He doesn't care about catching balls. He wants to make it a fist fight in phone book.
I love he told me the combine's stupid. Like, what? Well, why do you say that? He goes, we don't get to hit people for real. I'm like, we'll just give it a few months. You'll get your chance. Give it till the summer. You'll be playing somewhere.
There is that mentality that at least you get to see.
I like it
with Jackson.
Build everything.
I'm so excited.
We got a new
for
pick
being
here
with you
I think.
right now.
Well, we're throwing to a
Thank
break.
you for my Arizona Cardinals because
There we
this
go.
is really a dream come true. Thank you for my football friends, every one of you, and for my dad who passed away, but this is for you, Dad. So, with the 174 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, my Arizona Cardinals select Denzel Burke, defensive back from Ohio State. Woo! Thank you all.
He gets out there to rookie minicamp. You get to see his old friend there, Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Arizona Cardinals. Thought he was better off when he was off in off coverage where he could see, burst, plant, and drive. The knock on him, the one tape that everybody pointed to that I think hurt him was just that Oregon game. Tez Johnson, who we've not seen go yet, CD, he was able to get on top of him a little bit vertically, and people questioned the play speed. But someone who I think when he can play top down, he's excellent.
So he's now an Arizona Cardinal. What do you think of the Cardinals draft so far, Daniel Jeremiah, when you take a look?
Yeah, I'm looking at what they've
Green
accomplished
right there.
here. I mean, they get Walter Nolan early, who can, really be a disruptive force along that defensive line. The value of Will Johnson, who was there for them in the second round, my 16th overall player. And then they get Birch out of Oregon, who can rush off the edge to pair with Sweat, who they got in free agent.
The Baltimore Ravens have traded the 176th pick to the New York Jets. With the 176th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Tyler Barron, defensive end, Miami.
Another guy I had an opportunity to talk to Mario Cristobal about. East-West Shrine dude, physically just looked a little different in person, and in a good way.
In a good way, very good. I mean, the New York Jets continue to do what they do because they've been really good when their defense has been able to lead the way. And this guy comes off the edge, high motor player, showed up, 11 tackles for loss, just being able to be smooth and crafty at the point of attack. Doesn't always finish the way that you want to, but man, he is always around. He's always in the paint.
That's exactly right, Bucky. He's got to figure out how to become more consistent as a finisher. And I think his ceiling is going to be tied to his ability to become more consistently disruptive. That's what you're looking for. He's got some of the pieces that you're looking for. He's got some of the traits. You just want it to manifest itself in more production and more consistency.
When you guys are watching the film and you're telling me about finishing here, you talking about getting hands and bringing down the quarterback?
Getting it down,
pressures are
finishing,
there.
putting it in the bowl. Like, we can fish and we can get it on the hook, but if you don't bring it in the boat, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
We want you to get it in the boat. Finish it.
We want to eat too, not just catch and release. Let's eat.
Put them in skillet.